In this video, we will be talking about Meghan Markle's rubbish podcast on Spotify. You know a podcast isn't doing its best when its reviews look more like advice given by parents to a spoiled teenager and less like a review about a show hosted by an actress in show business for over 20 years. If you haven't been living under a rock, you would have guessed that we are talking about Meghan Markle's brand new podcast, Archetypes. More specifically about what makes Archetypes so awfully bad. But are archetypes truly as bad as the media makes it sound? How does the podcast still hit the top numbers in its chart in spite of being at 2.6 stars? Will the podcast be discontinued soon? Welcome back to Meghan Markle Mail and join us in this journey as we unfold the darkest secrets of Meghan Markle. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon to never miss another update from us. The Archetypes podcast might just be the new Kardashians in town. Whether you love it or hate it, one cannot stop talking about it. The podcast, which was supposed to be a game changer for the ex-Duchess of Sussex, has sadly turned her into one of the biggest memes of 2022. Archetypes, which took off with great expectations and a greater marketing team, has witnessed many guests such as Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, and Mindy Kaling, some of the most prominent and powerful female celebrities in the world. However, 5 minutes into the podcast and one realizes that the guests and their stories have almost nothing to do with the episode. All we get to hear once again is Meghan Markle and her never-ending cries for attention by putting herself in the shoes of a victim. One of the biggest reasons why Archetypes received the insane amount of backlash was after Meghan Markle revealed that her time as a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal on her podcast made her feel like a bimbo. What? We get that modeling isn't a profession that inherently needs the participant to be particularly smart or intelligent, but signing up for a job as a model and claiming that you felt dumb about your own choice to use your body as a prop to get ahead in your career is, wait for it, dumb. And the media didn't hold back with the actress's dumbness. Author Angela Levin mentioned how Markle makes herself a victim in literally every single one of her episodes. The journalist also cleverly mentioned how the actress is not open to listening to all sides of the story and is only interested in pursuing her own version of the truth. But the podcast did have hope, as it was meant to be one empowering women and everything feminism. But once again, it proved to be heavily disappointing in that area as well. The podcast's so-called intention to investigate the labels that try to hold women back and about dissecting stereotypes almost seems like a joke at this point. How can one forget the iconic advertisement of Meghan explaining how an advert for dish soap was being aimed exclusively at women? For everyone's information, Meghan was 11 years old here. 11! Let that sink in. While it's cool that the company responded to the letter of a young 11-year-old Markle writing to change the ad, a normal person would definitely wonder why an 11-year-old isn't playing with her Barbie and is arguing for something profound yet stupid. However, the most important question is, was this information ever a good addition to the podcast? We will let you decide. But all this is just the tip of the iceberg. The main problem seems to be the fact that Meghan and her narcissistic self have almost forgotten about giving her guests their chance to shine and speak. Not too much to ask when you are invited to speak on a podcast. Despite having the best platform possible to show her talents and make an actual conversation with her guests, the podcast sounds more like one of those YouTube rants specifically aimed at the royal family. This is especially sad when the royals are still mourning the loss of the Queen. Which makes us wonder, what really is Meghan Markle other than a royal basher? The ex-Sussex really needs to find a new way to get ahead in her career apart from bashing at the royals, and it seems like she does have a new strategy in mind. But yet again, it's not proven to be the best. The actress tries insanely hard to relate to her audience and guests, but she overdoes it to a point where it feels fake. The lack of authenticity gets very obvious in the podcast, and many experts, including famous psychologist Jordan B. Peterson, mentioned this and presented hard facts regarding how her voice changes when she gets on the podcast. And it's not just her voice, her personality, persona, views, everything. A rather bad news for a podcast where people tune in to listen to the host. However, people still are interested to listen to her, probably because at this point the show is so bad it's almost good. But we really hope Meghan sees this opportunity and at least makes a great podcast next season, as this season, that ship has already sailed. What are your thoughts about archetypes? Let us know in the comments down below.